We invest far-off places with a certain romance. Better places will always call to us. Out there are no better places. These worlds have not been graced, as ours has, by life, so far at least. Our planet and our solar system are surrounded by a new world ocean, the depths of space. It is no more impassable than the last. Those other worlds, promising untold opportunities, beckon. Silently, they orbit the sun, waiting.
In addition to providing access to unlimited resources, human activity in space will drive innovation and invention, advance science, and produce all kinds of technologies useful to Earth. New industries will be formed, jobs created, and children inspired. Settlements on the Moon and Mars will enable us to test different kinds of political, social, and economic systems, and will provide new challenges with the potential to unite nations and humanity alike. With low gravity and no atmosphere, the Moon's an ideal location for certain kinds of specialty manufacturing. Considering it takes 22 times less energy to escape Earth's gravity from the Moon, we can construct satellites, rocket parts, or even entire spaceships there for use elsewhere in the solar system. In the future, the missing elements on the Moon could be obtained by parking an asteroid in its orbit to mine for resources. Eventually, there could be shipyards and propellant depots on the Moon, granting humanity easier access to the rest of the solar system. Space hotels could be constructed to support a lunar tourism industry that thrives on the relatively short travel time to the Moon and back. Lunar telescopes built on the Moon bigger than what can be launched from Earth will benefit from the minimal seismic activity, negligible atmosphere, and lack of radio signals. The Moon contains a pristine geologic history of the solar system, and its native supply of tritium could be mined for use in next-generation fusion reactors. And, when power beaming technologies mature, electricity from lunar solar farms could be used on Earth as well. Okay, so there is a lot to do on the Moon. Now, what does Mars have to offer? Having all the elements needed for a robust manufacturing industry, a Mars base could supply expeditions to the asteroid belt and beyond with tools and equipment too heavy to be transported from Earth. It could provide a resupply of propellant, water, and even food, being the only other location in the solar system suitable to grow crops for export. Asteroids contain trillions of dollars of valuable material, which Mars is extremely well positioned to access. 90% of so-called near-Earth asteroids actually orbit closer to Mars, and Mars itself orbits right on the edge of the main belt. Due to longer travel times to Mars, tourism is less likely than on the Moon. However, Mars is by far the better candidate for long-term or even permanent human habitation, so there will be a large demand for housing, which private and public companies can compete to supply. Mars is an ideal location to search for extraterrestrial life, as it was once a warm and wet planet and contained all the conditions needed for life as we know it to exist. In the long term, Mars can be terraformed to have liquid water oceans, a thick atmosphere, and plants growing unaided on the surface. Mars alone has what it takes to support a fully self-sufficient second branch of civilization, and humanity could help it become a new home for life to evolve on even long after we are gone. It's for these reasons that we're preparing our next great leap into space. The Moon's closer, but Mars is larger, with stronger gravity, more resources, and an atmosphere to protect from solar radiation and micrometeorites. Considering the familiar day-night cycle and reasonable temperatures, Mars has prime real estate compared to the Moon. The Moon's proximity does make it more accessible, but Mars isn't exactly inaccessible. Under the right conditions, rockets can actually send more cargo to Mars than to the Moon, and a human trip can be accomplished in 6 months with existing technology. The best it gets on the Moon is at the poles, where there's plentiful solar power, but you'd have to live underground and mine water ice from frigid craters. On Mars, you could live anywhere on the surface, with all the water and resources needed for life and civilization. There's less sunlight for solar power, but it doesn't take as much energy to grow crops and meet other basic needs. Besides, Martians will be able to manufacture solar panels and create a self-expanding power base, while lunar colonists will rely on imports to make efficient solar cells. The moon's ideal for space-based manufacturing, astronomy, and tourism, and will help us to test our technologies and access the solar system. But its proximity to Earth means it will forever be subject to earthly politics, which makes it too close to be a true backup for humanity. Due to its hostile environment and minimal communication delay with Earth, the moon is well suited to be developed robotically where possible, in preparation for the scientists and tourists who will want to go there. Mars, on the other hand, is a place where humans can live and multiply to large numbers, a place where an actual civilization, and not just a mining or scientific outpost, can be developed. Only Mars is a viable target for true colonization. Did I miss anything important about the moon or Mars? And which are you most excited about? Let me know down in the comments. This is my first video, but I'm planning for uploads monthly, so be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell for more videos about humanity's journey to the stars. And, as always, stay curious about Mars Matters.